Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. That time again, time to get this show on the road. As always, guys, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to another London session. Interesting day. Obviously, charts, well, gold has retraced in a slow sort of trickle down though. GJ doing likewise as well. So as per usual, guys, we will see what we can come up with moving forward. We'll do the analysis of both gold and GJ. Gold potentially looking like we could have some early entries. Before it looked to me like it was pretty ordinary, the charts, to be honest, but now looking at gold, we may have an entry in on the turn of this hourly candle. So anyway, guys, let's get underway. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions or any charts you'd like me to have a look at, please feel free to send those in the chat. Don't be shy to say g'day, and I will get to you guys shortly on both TikTok and YouTube. TikTok, smash that screen for me. YouTube, smash that like button, and let's get underway with the analysis. First of all, let's have a look at the news. We'll look at Forex Factory to begin, and what we can see is there's nothing in terms of high impact news to come for our session here today, nor is there any into MY session. So for a change, pretty smooth sailing, but we will need to obviously keep an eye out for any breaking news. Looking at gold and starting the weekly time frame, and look at that. Once again, we are engulfing. We don't have that upper wick. So once again, could we just look to look for levels within it? A price could pull back to form a resistance at and back down to retest the low and potentially create a lower low. All those levels could also provide potential entry points, seeing it is at a pretty strong support when we do look at on the daily and 4-hour time frame. Structure wise on the daily, we are actually in fact bullish. It did close a bullish candle. We are an inside bar candle in the current candle. But if we begin to break that previous daily candle's high, there's a high probability we could once again bounce off this support and end up at around that 33.25 sort of region. So bullish in structure. On the 4-hour, we can see here it's just heavy consolidation, but at a very, very strong level of support. I'm just going to focus on the most recent levels though. And we'll worry about other levels if and when need be. So we are bouncing off the support just now. Once again, that's, I mean, the most recent resistance is that point there. Structurally, we are technically bearish on the 4-hour. We did flip it obviously on Monday. So the 4-hour is bearish, but bouncing at support and still respecting that very strong key level. The 30-minute structure did flip bullish yesterday, but it's also now flipped back bearish. So therefore, the bias is technically to the downside at the minute on gold. However, seeing we are at strong support and seeing we are forming strong support at support, and looking once again at the high time frames, it would be a potential point that price could bounce off. So what we can see on the 15 as well, we're starting to clear away from some consolidation. What I initially wanted to see was price minimum close above this point here. Looks like we're going to get that just now. Now the issue here on gold is I can't choose to look to execute on a limit order, I don't have a valid option. I don't yet have a pause. It's not leaving one range into a new range, look for a zone to zone limit, so I don't have a valid limit order. So all I can really look for is, again, how the new candle opens. I need to create a decent lower wick, and if it does so and begins to break the high of potentially our catalyst candle here, we could have some early options. I don't want it to reject and leave a massive upper wick, because that just makes it very tricky to trade within. So I like how we're bouncing off the support. We will see we could have some potential entries in just over 5 minutes. Now, if it just closes barely above, leaving a long upper wick, we'll have to wait for a little bit more data to print, perhaps a pause on a 15, followed by another bullish engulfing. But at the current rate, it's like we could have an opportunity. We just need to keep an eye on a few things. One issue will be, as per the norm, stop loss is the main issue these days in gold for me. So again, I need a new candle, create a decent lower wick. Let's look at it on the hourly. The hourly bullish engulfing as well, so you got another catalyst there. We definitely need a significant lower wick, and potentially, I mean preferably, sorry, I'd like it to tap into the minor resistance here in 15, which kind of lines up that previous hourly high, and it begins to flip. And it could be options as it breaks the high of what could be our catalyst candle in just over 4 minutes. So today's goal, we're looking for some potential buys, guys, in shortly in the next 4.5 minutes. Buys above that point there. Now, hopefully that made sense, guys. Make sure to smash that like button, YouTube and TikTok. Smash that screen for me. DJ, let's quickly look at it. Is there any potential entry? Not for me just yet. So you know what, let's wait for gold, and then we'll do the analysis on GJ, just in case. I don't want to miss any opportunity here on gold. So what I would suggest you guys do at the minute is determine what the highest point on your broker is of the current 15/M30. Let me turn the music down for you guys on YouTube, by the way. So what we want to see is, again, what the highest point is, and you'd be looking for an entry about 2 pips above the high of what is currently the catalyst candle. But once again, wait for the closure, wait for a lower wick to form on the new candle, on the hourly, on the M30. We've got multiple catalysts here. I really like the hourly, so we will be looking at some potential options. Let me see what it is on my broker. We're looking around 32, 34.54 as a potential entry point. So yeah, let's see, guys. In the meantime, Carl, good morning to you, mate. Bartman, Lau, Franco, appreciate you guys as always. And TikTok, to all the 44 of you currently on stream, hope you're all doing well. Thank you to new followers. So we're just waiting currently on gold, guys. Magdalena, thank you for sharing the live. WS London Trader, morning to you. User liquidity taken. Fair value gap, now retest the fair value gap 415. Maybe, I don't know. I don't trade fair value gaps. Can you check UJ, Moody? We'll check it after I do GJ, after we see what happens here on gold. Cool Game Boy. Hey mate, I'm new to this. Forex. New to this. Is Forex crypto stocks? This is Forex. What's actually gold, commodity, precious metal. But also, yes, Forex. Do trade the pound versus the yen. Is this the M30 minute? It is. Sorry, I can't read that print it to say your name, to be honest, mate. Seller, buy or sell, looking for a potential buy, guys. So we're looking at a potential buy. Now, look, if it closes as is, it's a catalyst. And if the new candle whips straight down, remembering it's the new hourly 30, obviously 15, whip straight down without an upper wick, I may take an early buy as it begins to flip back bullish. So we'll wait and see. Looking good. So I'm looking for a buy. Sim, why GJ? Because it moves with quite a lot of volume. It gives quite a lot of opportunities. All right, it's pushing a little bit towards the end of the hourly closure. So let's focus, guys. Once again, follow the highest point on your broker's chart. As soon as I have a valid entry, I will put it up on the screen. Again, free VIP gold signal group. You're out, you're booted. All right, let's see. 5 seconds. Need that lower wick, guys. Needs to be a decent lower wick. It's the open of the new hourly as well. All right, once pull back, at least give us about 15 to 20 pip minimum lower wick. Preference is for it to tap back into that bearish candle's high. So I don't want to trigger in the first minute. Oh, it's about to break. Really want more of a lower wick, guys. It's not sufficient enough. About to pop, but again, I need that lower wick. It's not rolling with like an 8 to 10 pip stop, just doesn't cut it on gold. Okay. If it flips back bearish, then I will set a buy stop back above the current candle's high. I need it to flip back. So I'm just watching it closely, see if it actually pulls back yet again. Ebony, I'll type into the chat. All right, looks like it could be flipping back bearish. Just the first minute, guys. I don't want to be triggering straight away without really creating much low wick. So now we want to flip bearish. And as it breaks its own high again, there could be a potential option based on the fact that if it was now seeing it's got a high and upper wick, was to continue bearish, there would be no need for it to pull back up and break its own high again. So I want it to flip back bearish, and if it does then flip back bullish and break its own high, it's a high probability it's just grabbed a little bit more liquidity from the downside before heading back up. So it's looking like it could flip back. All right, this is good. This is better. All right, I'm going to set a buy stop off the current candle's high. It would be about 30, 39 roughly. All right. So I've set an order. Oops. So the order's set at 35.39. Stop loss will be below the current candle's low, wherever that is. So I'm just going to keep adjusting it accordingly. It's not in yet. That's what I'm currently looking at, guys. To my members, let me share a link with you. All right, so that's what we're looking at, guys. Liquidity below taken already unless it hunts previous day's low at 15. Okay, so you're also looking for a buy, I'm assuming. Rob, I think it's looking good, to be honest. So we'll see. Not triggered in just yet. Still haven't managed to do the analysis on GJ, guys, but we'll get to that shortly. Four confluences, hourly bullish engulfing. M30 closing very strong bullish as well. 15 closing above some consolidation at support. So I like the fact the hourly's popped up, it's popped back down, it's popping back up again, break its own high. So that to me is enough to look for an option to buy it. Gold's been crazy the last 2 weeks. It's boogie, yeah, it has been all over the shop. But not in yet, not been triggered in, guys. Dr. Medi, this is gold, spot gold, it's not a crypto. So it's more based off the hourly and M15, this one. Let's see if we get triggered in. What's TP? I have rules as to when I secure. So again, I get to break even, and when I can, I like to get to break even quite quickly. Stop loss isn't that wide, so I don't need to target that bigger move. I'll probably start securing some partials, maybe anywhere between that 10 to 20 pips. Get to break even, and then leave a runner. It's Boogie. Did you catching and good run from CPI? I fell asleep. No, I wasn't on the chart for the actual news release. I was on a call with the members. We were watching it drop just before it. I ended the call about 10 minutes before it because there weren't really many people on the call, to be honest. So, Ebony, okay, XAU Euro. It's been wild against any of the majors, I'm assuming. Can I explain my entry there, please? So it's again based off the hourly, bullish engulfing at strong support. Also the M30 strong bullish closure, 15's closed above consolidation, so that's the reason for it. So we'll see. All right, I'm in. About 5 pips on the table. Oh, there's your potential 10. So consider securing some partials. We hit that 10 pip mark. We want to get to break even. So it's a small win now, just been taken out. That's really quick. Pretty much not much of a trade, to be honest. It's a bit of a nothing trade, but still it's a small win. If you want to keep it open, just be careful. If it's bearish, I'd be cutting it, to be honest. Really quick one. Yeah, not much more I can say about it. Just keep an eye if it does reject. It's the traffic to the left's not that clean. I mean, it's straight bearish, but we do have these wicks, and look at it now. So it's moving quite nicely. If anyone is still currently holding the position, you've got about 12 pips on the table, so well done. Start to consider about securing, because the volatility, it's important not to be greedy these days in gold, because it does tend to spike up and down with a lot of volume and skip pips. So that's Well, I'm not greedy. I just secure small partials here and there when I get the opportunity. As per my rules are once I get to that around that 10 pip mark, I can begin to secure some profits. So that's pretty much what I've done. So that was very quick for me, in, out. Managed to secure a small win on that one. But again, if you guys are still holding it, wouldn't want to take a loss from here. So I'd personally be at break even if I had not been taken out. But it's looking good, more so in the hourly. For me, it's like a tiny win. It's literally, what is it? Yeah, it's 0.3%, so it's a real small win, but a win's a win. But we'll see what else might present moving forward. Now what we can look for, guys, is maybe if we get the interruption play setting up, or a little bit of a weak pause setting up from now as well. So we have made an initial bounce off the support. What I would preference now, a nice strong closure to 15, and then a little weak pause on the next M15, and that could present either a interruption play or just a pure impulse entry as price begins to break the minor pause. Either or. So that's something we can contemplate moving forward. Yep, got one small win under the belt to begin, and we'll see what happens moving forward on after a closure of this M15, and more so the M30 now. Sim, no, I didn't sell. I bought it, mate. It's obviously, you can see just there. Did it enter on 36.2? It entered on 36.2? How did you enter at that point, or why did you enter at that point, my friend? The entry should have been 32.3539, so you're entering like 9 pips late. So first go bar, sorry my brightness was down, didn't see the watermark. Oh, you're asking what pair? Oh, okay. Got a sniper, you're in a cell? Okay, interesting. Oh, okay, you're ready for a cell, you mean? Sorry, I misread that. TJ, I missed the short after it broke out M15 opening range, passed out after sending my Bravo signal. It's not easy, my friend. It's hard to stay awake sometimes when it's late, isn't it? I have that difficulty if I try trade in my... So thank you to all the new followers. TikTok, smash that screen for us. Over 100 of you on a stream. Good to see more on stream today. So let's do the analysis on GJ and any other pairs per request, guys. Don't be shy to send in your pair, or I don't know if you can't send in charts, guys, on TikTok. YouTube, same for you. If you guys want me to analyze any charts for you, feel free to send those in, and I will do so shortly. Guys on TikTok, make sure to jump across at some point to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel, just in case I go missing on TikTok, because they're a little stricter with all these with their regulations, all their rules when it comes to live streaming and obviously Forex trading. So let's start GJ and have a look at the weekly time frame. And similar to gold, and what have I mentioned? You hear me mention it often. When everyone's saying it's got to pull back to fill that gap, it's going to create a low wick. Not necessarily. Yes, it can do, and there's a high probability it would do, but now looking at it, I feel there's a high probability that it won't pull back to create that low wick, because every time it has pulled back within its own candle in the weekly, what has happened is it's created support, or at a previous level of support, it's respected that level and ended up popping back up to create a higher high. And that's, so long as we continue to do that, there's a high probability it won't actually come back down to create that low wick. Onto the daily, strong catalyst on the previous daily candle. We have confirmed a structure flip on the daily as well. Okay, so it's likely going to be bullish across the board. The current daily has a higher low, higher high as well to the previous, but currently pulling back, tapping into some the previous resistance here to the left. So if we were to flip and break our own high, clean traffic up towards that 197.40, could be some options to look out for buys. So the 4 hour looking very clean here on the 4 hour GJ. That's the high. Don't really have a zone to the downside. We'll see what we can do on the 30, but otherwise we are bullish and we will remain bullish so long as we remain above this 194.780 region. To the left hand side of the highs, clean traffic as well, so likely that we'll be looking for buys above the high is one option. So I can just put that straight in. Buys above current daily candles high. Further options, so the 30-minute structure is still technically bullish, just it's held on, so it needs to close below this swing point in order for it to flip the structure, and it's not done so. That is the highest point of the market. That was the last two more consecutive counter pullback in the opposite direction, so therefore as long as we remain above this low, we will be considered, I would consider it bullish on the 30. All right, so let's see what we've got in 15 to draw in a zone. All right, so we'll use that low, and we are again, so we are bullish on the 30 as well. So I would prefer to buy it, but the issue is, where do you buy it? Because to be honest, you're buying it straight into nasty wicks to the left, so it could reject within the current daily, remembering we are forming a bearish candle on the daily time frame. So currently, if we pull back to any of these levels and begun to reject, it could come back down to retest the support, potentially flip the structure bearish and continue to the downside. To the downside, we're back in that crap from yesterday. It's really sloppy price action with wicks all over the shop, which makes it difficult to sell it from below the low. So what I'd be looking at GJ, the cleanest options to buy it, and I mean, this is the best play on GJ right now. You're either going to wait for it to pull back higher up, not the most recent resistance, but the one just above it around that 195.90, create a clean move up, look out for rejection, and contemplate your options to sell it from that point there. Above that point there, we do have some clean traffic back up to the current daily candles high, so that is where I like to get involved in the buys as well. So it all comes down, in my opinion, to this level around that 195.880 to 190. Let me just check it out. One sec, guys. 195.950. And otherwise, it's going to be a wait on GJ. That's fact for me today. I just have to wait because to the downside, like I said, it's very choppy on the 15. So in this type of scenario, what I prefer to see is nice clean move down, cut through the crap to the left, create a clean pullback, and then it opens up the range once again to more probable trades, in my personal opinion. So GJ is likely, but we'll see. Who knows? Anything could happen. But it's likely not going to give us an option moving forward here today. So we'll keep an eye on gold. So gold in and out in that one very quickly for a quick 10, just small win. And hopefully if anyone was still in it, you're managing it. Because like I mentioned, guys, had no need to keep popping back down if it was to continue bullish. So that's why I get to break even where I do and secure where I do. It's all part of my rules, but all part of my plan. And it obviously keeps me profitable. And that was officially win number 100 for the stream. That deserves sound effect from TikTok. So that was, I jumped the gun on Monday. That was the 99, and this one is officially at 100. So not a great one, but still a win to win. This is Splinix key. No, I was in a quick gold buy, but stop loss. The runner was taken out, break even, a small runner. You missed that? Oh, okay. All right. Could be another opportunity. So we're creating resistance here. So unfortunately, we got the pause on this count. I would have preferred for this count to close strong bullish and then pause. but nonetheless, if we close very strong bullish on the following candle on this one, back up near the high, the hourly still got 30 minutes left to print. If we break our own high yet again in the hourly, to me it's still pretty good option to take a trade. So we'll see, guys. Ebony, yeah, GJ is the only one I really personally trade other than gold. Jude, again, I have my ways of going about things. Just trade me. Okay, nice one. Hopefully you managed to secure something before it came back down. Finishing with 200 today. Nice one. Thor, it wasn't just to instantly close at break even. It tapped into my first TP. My first target is always that 10 pips. Look, if the stop loss is way too wide, well, normally I won't even enter it. But if it's pushing 50 to 60 pips, then I won't secure at 10. And I trade fixed lots, guys. So that's the difference as well. If the stop loss in this case is about 30 something 40 pips, then it's quite normal for me on gold. So it's normal for me to start securing around that 10 plus. And also another thing is, you've got to remember, guys, we're trading within the range. The range holds priority. It's not the cleanest, to be honest. The 5 minute probably looks terrible. Doesn't look great, a 5 minute. All these long wicks all over the shop here on the 15 doesn't look great. I know it's consecutive bearish candles, but otherwise, apart from that, you can tell it's just a bit choppy. So I'm just sticking to my rules because they work for me. If it's into clean traffic, breaking out into a new range, for instance, that would be, I consider above this point here, into clean traffic, that's a different story. But when you're trading within the range holds priority. Don't be greedy. Something I've learned over many years. So generally speaking, for me, GJ gets about 7-8 pips. I get to break even. Gold about 10. I start to skew and get to break even. And once again, you need this when you're a scalper. I can't stress how important it is to have. It doesn't have to be this one, but an EA trade management tool. All you do is stop loss to entry, close half, close custom. So simple. Claudia, US 30. That's support. Let's quickly look at it. All right, so weekly is forming strong bullish. Add a resistance here to the left. Daily, hate these gaps. I really don't like charting some of these indices and that because of the big gaps they have. Strong bullish candle. Sorry, a couple of days back. Yesterday was relatively strong bearish candle. If the current candle begins to break the low of that candle, there's a high probability it will continue to the downside. It's obviously open with a bit of a gap to the upside. Structurally, let's quickly look at it in daily. I will call that still technically bearish. It has to close above that wick to flip it, so it's at a resistance. 4 hour looks to be technically bullish in structure, and that's not going to flip for a while. So it's bullish, but again, it's at resistance, so it's at a pretty strong level here to the left. Probably just mark that whole area in. You've just recently formed some minor support. Well, it's 4 hours, so I do consider it more of a stronger area. M30 does appear to be bearish. All right, so I would prefer to sell it based off where it's at. It's at a high time frame resistance. You got 30-minute structure being bearish. You're likely going to have the daily counter probabilities being to the downside shortly. So off the back of that, I feel there's more options to the downside. It also looks quite clean just below that previous daily candles low. So for me, I'd be looking for price to close below 42.0975. Tap in and look for a sell off the back of that. 15 would suffice. For the biasing, it is at a pretty strong support, and you are, I mean, the bias was still technically neutral, I think it was, but did begin to pop above 42,186, then it could retrace a fair bit of that move up to 42.80, so that could be an option to buy it. It's at a strong support just now, so kind of consolidating. You need to let it decide whether it's going to continue down or push the upside. 15 doesn't look great to the downside. 30 looks better, so you probably need to wait for a 30 closure, 30 retest, and then based off that. That's my opinion of it, but I personally don't touch it, especially this time of day. So gold, just over 5.5 minutes, guys. Could we get another re-entry? TJ Quill, do I use orb? No, I don't even know what it is, to be honest, my friend. Gold sniper people looking at me in hospital like, what's the fool listening to? You're in hospital, mate. Hope all is well. SD Mills, hi mate, have you ever encountered restrictions or warnings from TikTok? Well, yes. Have I ever? Many. But I think I've kind of figured it out, and now I've unlocked some privileges. I think they're not strict on me anymore. At the very beginning, yes, I had many issues. I got this account initially was blocked last year at some point. I think you wait like 6 months and they unblock it, or 3 months or something. They give you access again. Had a secondary account blocked as well. But this one is now has been going pretty much the whole year. So if you want to stream, mate, you just got to be careful, to be honest. Yeah, send me a DM or something and I'll help you out. User Naz. Looking at earlier today with a member of mine, earlier my time. Naz gave some cracking options yesterday. On the MY call, we looked at one and called one, but I don't trade it. The interruption play, which we took on Monday in GJ, exact same scenario, guys. Impulse, you had pause here too. That would have worked too, zone to zone. Then you had another impulse, pause, engulfing. Interruption play. Price taps in, that's your entry, and look at that, you would have had basically zero drawdown. And if you like to hold on to positions, you'd be absolutely loving life right now. Also gave another option here on something you learnt on this stream. That bearish candle above resistance was followed by a liquidity candle, so it broke low of that candle only to go up and break its high. That is a high probability setup at a level of resistance turn support. And again, that could have been something we've taken advantage of. So let's take a look at it. Either way, I can see gold's rejecting on my MetaTrader, so there's no rush. And looking at Naz, big move yesterday, and once again weekly, a lot of these candles don't have wicks in the opposite direction this week, and Naz, I don't think it's going to pull back to create one. It could do so, but in my opinion, it doesn't need to, and it likely won't. Daily is obviously bullish in structure, and we do have counter probabilities being to the upside. Let's just mark in that previous daily high. We do have some resistance though to the left, so potential level it could begin to reject. So let's mark in a daily low as well and see what we've got, if any sort of catalyst look to sell it below it. 4 hour, move out to the left. Has it tapped in? Let's just measure this. Let's mark it in. Oh, so close. I don't know if it's quite tapped into the resistance. Not quite. So it's likely going to be, going to be difficult to buy it above the current daily candles high because you're running into a 4 hour level. But we'll see on the 30 and 15 if there are any clean areas within this 4 hour zone. Below it, what we can see is to the downside, this most recent support, we definitely will, on the 4 hour anyway, we have some really clean traffic. So the preference for sells based off this time frame will be for price to actually tap in to the 4 hour resistance, pop back down to the support, and begin to pop below it At that point there, you are rejecting a daily and 4-hour resistance only to start to pop back below a 4-hour support. In my opinion, there's a high probability at that point it could make a deeper pullback with the clean traffic to the left. But we'll go down to the 30. And unfortunately, there is no real catalyst in terms of structure flipping or anything, because the way I see it, that is the highest point. So you look to the left of that, that's the pullback zone. So however, again, based off the key level, what I'd really like to see is price tap into that 4-hour resistance, pop back down to support, begin to pop below it, and I would still definitely consider options to sell it. Aside from that, I'd be looking for price pop back down to the support, form another support at that level, look for a price action catalyst, and look for options to buy it. Let's quickly zoom out and see if there is any clean traffic to the upside. I mean, not really. You just don't have it. Let's go to 15. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack at the minute. It's just really stretching things out. But based off the 15, you maybe could get a buy above 21,270, but I'd be very quick to get to break even because you're trading into a 4-hour resistance. Yeah, that's my opinion of it. Be interesting to see later on. Alright, so gold, GJ, it's bounced off the support. Gold rejecting, all good. So now what we can do is, at a 30-minute closing as well. So we've now formed a resistance, guys. So that becomes the new entry point for the buyers. As long as price remains below it, I prefer to sell it, but I don't quite yet have a catalyst. I don't have a 30-minute engulfing. I don't have anything within the 15 other than two strong candles, other than two bearish candles. I'd like to see a bit of a pause form now. So minus support on the 15. Candle close back like so. And if I did have that present, then I may be able to look for a sell, take it back down. Without that, the way I trade, I don't quite have a signal just yet. Because the way I see it, the 30 prior to the most recent rejection to the last candle, close bearish, was a very strong bullish candle. So a catalyst, a single candle catalyst based on the 30 would be bearish engulfing, or strong bearish, lower high, lower low. I obviously don't have any of that. I've got, yeah, pretty strong bearish, but it's got a higher low, higher high. So I go down to the 15. What have we got within it? Had we had strong bearish, weak bullish, what we would have done within the 30-minute bearish candle is create a minor support. Based off the back of that, if price was to begin to break support, then we know logically it's likely to head back down to the next level of support. So that, off the back of that, I could have looked for an entry. I don't have any of that at the minute. I could have it in 13 minutes though, on the 15-minute time frame. That's something I will keep an eye on. Otherwise, what I'd be waiting for is price to pop back up. Once again, if we were to continue bearish, no need to pop above 32, 36, 70. And if we did so, I feel there's a high probability that would create that, just confirm the high low, and we will continue bullish if that was to be the case. So that is now what I'm currently looking at on gold. Let me catch up with the chat. Ebony, pound, New Zealand dollar. Alright, that's an interesting one. That would be one that I have a fair bit of volatility about, I would assume, but also that being said, I would assume the spreads will be a little bit wider on it. Alright, so I have looked at this chart, God knows when, I can't remember, but weekly, that's awkward. It's open with a massive gap down, so really it is actually forming bearish, considering where the previous candle did close. It's well below the high and well below the closure of it. Sorry. Daily, it's a mess. It doesn't look clean at all to me. Structure wise, I would say it's bearish. We'll probably mark in that previous daily low and look to see what you've got below it. 4 hour, again, all these gaps, it's a bit of a mess. I would call it bullish. So it's not going to be easy to sell it below the previous daily low because you're at the 4 hour support. It looks pretty good above this 2.244 region. Bouncing off 4 hour support, if it begins to break above that resistance, could be a potential option. And there's your catalyst, so it will flip the 30-minute structure back bullish at that point. So what I'd be looking for on GN is price to come back up, and it's either going to respect 24.40 and look for an option to sell it, or you're going to be looking for price to pop above that point there, retest it, and you got, at that point, a 30-minute closure will confirm a structure flip, bouncing off the 4 hour support. There's a high probability it's going to come back up towards that 2.25 sort of region. So otherwise, to the downside now, I would avoid it completely. This current range, it's very messy, very choppy. So I'd wait for it to either pull up and reject. Let's just quickly see what we've got below the 4 hour support. Yeah, not too bad below the 4 hour support as well. So below 2.2307, that could be some options to sell, but obviously I wouldn't just set a sell stop. I'd wait to see how price reacts to that point and then look for options moving forward. GJ looking a little better now. It's pushing back up, so could we get a sell from resistance or buy above it? Perhaps. We'll wait and see. Gold still retracing. All right, all good. Mark, appreciate the sticker, mate. Thank you. Hayden, gold is reversing, yep. Designated survivor. For gold is that a pullback? I mean, gold's been in pullback for the majority of this week, so it's bounced off support and it's potentially retesting it. Sorry, I was lagging behind the chat here. Sebi, how do you think gold is going down in the next hour or so? This rate looks like it could come down to the support again. But once again, I just don't have my catalyst to sell it. Was in a really quick win for a buy just towards the beginning of the stream. Now I'm waiting for it to reset. Mihai, GU buy, in my opinion. Oh, that was a chart from yesterday. It's at resistance. Yeah, I'd be looking for rejection to sell it, to be honest. It's just consolidating. So to the upside, you really need to wait for a closure above. And pretty much the same to the downside. It's just the issue of where to get involved. So I'd concentrate on price popping below that level there, 130. 132.887 EU. Yeah, it's just consolidating. Same shit. Just needs to close above it. I don't trade out of consolidation because you're likely going to get wrecked. All these candles look like they've attempted to either break to the downside or upside and just ended up right back in the middle of consolidation. That is why I don't try to preempt the move. I rather react, wait till price makes the move, and then pick up the pieces afterwards. All right, so we're still waiting around, guys, see what does present. We've still got plenty of time. Thank you to all the new followers. Yeah, Mihai, that's my thoughts on both EU and GU. Masana, gold please, yep, I've had a look at it. So I'm looking for pullbacks to potentially buy it now. It'd be nice if we made a clean move down if it was to continue down. Otherwise, buys back above 36.70. BAPT, hi, why do you trade? Why I trade? Because I like the fact that the freedom of trading, you can do it from anywhere you want in the world. To me, I enjoy being right as well, to be honest. It just provides opportunities trading. It's unlimited with trading as to what your return can be, to be honest. But you need to treat it like a business, like a job, not like, you know, gambling, which most traders do treat it like it's just going to a casino. But I enjoy looking at the charts. I enjoy again analyzing and coming up with a game plan, and knowing that when I stick to my plan and my rules, that I'm likely, you know, 80% plus of the time going to be correct, and I can actually make some cash off the back of that. So that's the reason as to why I trade. It's helped me achieve many things in life. It's helped me to pay for a home. I'm away from home actually. So it can be really rewarding. But you got to treat it with, again, respect. Treat it like a job and a business, not like gambling. Pietro, GJ's crazy run up, looks bearish at the moment. Yeah, yeah, I don't mind selling it on the pullback. That Monday trade was a cracking trade on GJ. Last Thursday's gold trade though, that was even better. That was probably a trade of the month so far. AFNX gnarly. What about fair value gap? Well, I don't trade fair value gaps, mate, so I'm not concerned by it. If I was to be concerned by something that I'm not familiar with, and all of a sudden just throw out everything that I know and what works for me because there's some fair value gap to the upside, then there's just no point trading. There's no point being a mentor. There's no point coaching, because I react to what I know and what I see. I respect, yes, fair value gaps and all, I respect it. I just don't trade it. It's not me. Thank you for sharing the live, by the way, guys. DK, appreciate it. Marquez, TP 32.45.60 on you, end of 32.57.10. Well, it's a good level to target for sure, but it's way off. Zim, what's my overall PL? Excuse my ignorance, I don't know what you mean by that. Arafin, welcome, mate. I hope you're seeing better days, my friend. Hopefully you're being a little bit more strict with your account. Marquez, GN, TP 2242. Alright, let me quickly look again. Not great, which found. NZD, that's it. $22,425. Alright, I just don't see an entry right now, to be honest. Once again, keep an eye on gold, guys. Hayden, be missing your streams due to work, but congrats on 100th win. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you for the support and the kind comment. Marquez, gold M5, TP 32.45555. Fair enough. Dad Bud Tours, summertime. Not here in Melbourne, it's not, mate. Mind you, it's been cracking weather for what is pretty much winter. In a couple of weeks, it'll be officially winter. And another very mild, low 20-degree day, I think it was today. Nice and sunny. Okay, it's a few hours. Okay, your TPs, fair enough. Ebony, do I have advice on funding accounts? Be very careful. You need to do your own research because a lot of them are scams, a lot of them are bullshit. Once again, sorry to keep mentioning it, guys, but I did have a 300k account taken away from me when I was due a payout for some bullshit parameter that was never ever and still not to this day in the rules or regulations of that particular prop firm. They just didn't want to pay out, and it was so freaking frustrating, very, very annoying, and it really put me off the whole industry. I was gonna follow through with legal action, but it's just not worth it. It really is. I couldn't be bothered with the head for, to be honest, excuse my French. And that cost me a fair whack. That was over 5k Aussie for the 300k account. So you got to be really careful. The only ones I've seen confirmed payouts is FTMO. I've heard of Audacity. I know they pay out. I've got it on someone I coach uses Audacity and they get paid. They've been paid out, no problem. I'm sure there's others, but that's probably the only two I would trust. The Fivers are a good one, but I'm not sure if they've fixed the issue with spreads. That used to be an issue on the pairs that I trade. That blood tool is not open sometime. Yep. BVG, good morning to you. Marquez, good night to you. Gbpjpy, that's MagicKeys, mate. Got a 25% discount code for, but it's on the YouTube. Or just send me a DM and I'll send it to you. It's not expensive, man. It's like 30 US for the on-screen version. And with the, I think that will give you the, on top of that, you get the 25% discount. So what's that, like $22.50 or some shit? And it's, you get it for, that's it. It's your license key. You have it. You don't have to. It's not a subscription or anything. Vision Air Telia. Some of these names, and make us money, or if I was not making money, I would not be wasting my time 3 hours plus a day, or 2 to 4 hours a day on a computer staring at candles. Hack the Matrix? Not just yet, no. What confirmation? So we could potentially have a buy for London Open. We want this candle to close strong. Well, let's close a strong bullish candle. Let's just mark in a 50%. And let's see what it looks like on a 15 as well. And let's come up with a game plan for gold. All right, let's go down to the 15. That looks pretty good. So that's for any impulse entry at London Open. So the impulse entry will be the break above the most recent resistance. Price needs to close above 32, 35, 33 for me to consider it. The preference still is for price to actually close above the resistance itself. That would be a stronger confirmation at this point. Wait for London Open to create low wick, tap in, reject, and you know, there's the option to buy it as it breaks the high of the catalyst candle. However, like I said, I will consider it if we close above the 50% of that zone. That would also be a strong catalyst. Gold sniper, you sell one, okay, nice one. Top G, I had a look at NAS just before, about 15 minutes ago. So I mentioned it's close to a 4-hour resistance. I prefer it to tap into it, come back down, flip the 30-minute structure at the 4-hour resistance. Well, it's not flipping the structure, but again, it's flipping the micro trend. You're also breaking its own low on a daily. Popping below 4-hour support. So the preference for sells will be back below 21,173. And otherwise, upon the pullback, look for options to buy it, and buys maybe above 21, 27, 20. 250 MB. Your bias bearish? No, I've got a neutral bias pretty much on gold. The bias is bearish, but I do see options to buy it just purely, plain and simply, because the level it's at 4 hour / daily support, and we are continuing to remain above it. If we now confirm that higher low and begin to pop up the resistance, then it could be options potentially to buy it. Could be options to sell as well if this closes very close to the low of that bullish candle. So that's another thing we can keep an eye on. Got a bit of support here. It's too strong of a bullish candle to take any impulse entry. If it begins to break the low of that bullish candle, we need to wait for this candle to close. So similar to the upside, once it's closed strong bearish, and once again it'll come down to London open, the entry candle, for it to create the upper wick, so I can use that for my stop loss, because otherwise stop loss is going to be way too wide off the back of what is the current candle's high. So there could be options to the downside. Xauusd, what are you doing in gold now, sir? Nothing at the minute. Took a quick buy for a very small win earlier. Now I'm just chilling. Ebony, yeah, I think FDMO is the way to go. I've definitely seen payouts, and I probably will at some point buy a challenge with FDMO. But again, it was quite, not that recent, but still, it was mid last year when all this happened, and it was draining. It really did take a lot. Take a toll on me, to be honest. Nolan, how are you? Buy or sell? Could be anything at the minute. We're just waiting for session open, see where current M15 closes. We could have options to sell it. We could also have options to buy it. So I'm keeping my options open and being fluid in the markets at the minute. BVVG strategy. Price action at predetermined level is based on determining a bias, which I use 4 different time frames to determine my bias. Mark in my zones on 4 hour, 30 and 15. Now I just look for price action signals. I have plenty of signals within price action I'll look out for, and depending on how or where we're at and how price is approaching level, that will determine what type of signal I need to see. Roger Kenyani, good morning to you, mate. What trading platform are you using? This is TradingView, but to execute trades, MetaTrader 5. Alright, so we've had one small goal win so far, so we can add that. Ismail, what's your thought? Bullish overall in a week, but today, like I mentioned, I feel gold could go out in either direction, and it's a stupid thing to say. Of course, it can go in either direction, but it's because it's purely where it's at. So the current weekly is forming a strong bearish candle, engulfing the previous weekly. So off the back of that, I definitely see options to sell it, whether it be upon the pullback. Or below maybe 32.16, but I also see options to buy it, considering it continues to remain above what is a very strong support on the 4 hour and daily time frame. So once again, this is the most recent resistance formed after bouncing off the support. This becomes the potential entry point for a buy. Doesn't mean I wouldn't consider a buy later on from back lower down, but I need to wait for that. That's well off at the minute. That maybe might be a pre-MY or into MY session type of scenario. Gbpjpy price action signals mean the candle formations possible. Yeah, exactly. MagicKeys. I'll type into the chat because I think this is one of the things that used to get me in a bit of trouble with the TikTok algorithm recommending things like that. It's rejected from 32.25 again. Yeah, it keeps bouncing off it, doesn't it? You're still holding buy position. 32.37. Nice one. Oh, okay. 32.37. All right. Careful. Where's your stop loss? I hope you have a plan. And at least you're being honest, so you're not just saying I'm 60, 70 pips up on a sell. I do respect that, but I'm sure you've got a plan. And it doesn't sound like you're, you know, emotional about, which is good. Sounds like you're just following your plan. Stop loss 32.15. All right, fair enough. So yeah, back below this support. That's fair enough. Can we trade Roger County? Can we trade futures on IC markets in the UK? I'm not in the UK, mate. Don't know. You need. What future brokers are there? Andrew, g'day to you, mate. Welcome. Sorry, just saw you popped in. You can trade with IC markets in the UK. That's not an issue. All right, could we get sells here on gold? Remember, so let's just mark it in. Let's use the magnet tool so it's accurate. Change it to blue, seeing it's a minor 15-minute level. And let's do the same thing. Let's use a FIP. Closure below 50%. I will consider that to be a pretty strong catalyst. Then it will come down to the entry candle, the upper wick for a decent stop loss, because I'm not prepared to roll with what would be potentially 60 pip stop based off the 15. I need to narrow it down a little bit. Well, I need to have a really good way to manage it. So if I did have to roll with a 60 pip stop, as long as it create a bit of an upper wick and it pushed into some profit, I can just straight away adjust stop loss to the entry candle. I'm very quick with it to manage my trades. Very quick to manage trades. Iman, g'day to you. What do you think about Trader Scale Fund? Me? No idea. Never heard of it, to be honest. Did come across one which seems very interesting, but I'm not sure if they're up and running just yet. Shadow Capital, I think it was called, on TikTok, where they're trying to change the industry. So trying to rid it of all the stupid rules that these funded accounts have. So that one's interesting, but I don't know if they're ready. All right, so potentially we could have an option on gold. Hasma, which app? Like I mentioned, I don't. This is TradingView. So do you mean to execute trades? MetaTrader. MetaTrader 5. Are you talking about this thing? This is MagicKeys. That's not an app, mate. Liquidity bearish engulfing candle potentially presenting on gold. It's way too late to take an entry on the impulse with 2 minutes until session open. So it will come down to an upper wick forming on the new candle, London Open. So what I would suggest is follow the low of the current candle. And we're potentially looking for an entry just below it. But similar to the option to the upside earlier, similar to the buys we took, the small win, need to wait for that wick to form in the opposite direction before placing any entry. So the low for me and the potential entry point is around at 32.28.5. Needs to close below this horizontal minimum. And it's creating a lower low, so it's just making it difficult. Alright, so I'm gonna have to again adjust the entry. Ebony, not right now. We'll look at it for you. But let's keep an eye on XAUUSD for the time being. So it's pushing. Liquidity move is playing out in the last minute of the candle. So still could be options, guys. We still have enough margin. Not a great deal, but we have enough. It will come down to the entry candle. So we need to patiently wait for this candle to close. Wait for the new candle to create an upper wick. Then potentially look for an option. 32.2776 is the lower mic broker. So 56 so far is a potential entry point. It's about to create another lower low. Needs to leave a lower wick too. All right. So 56, it needs an up. This candle needs an upper wick. I want an upper wick. Saw what happened before on the buy. Waited patiently for it to pull back to create more of a low wick. I'm doing the same thing here. Not set the order, I'm waiting for it to pull back to create more of an upper wick. If it doesn't, it is what it is. Doesn't look like it will, to be honest, but again, not prepared to take it without it. Dropping. What can you do, guys? Nothing. About GJ. Yeah, the middle of a range at the minute, so still a bit of a wait. It needs to create the upper wick. If it does, I will use the upper wick of the current candle and look to possibly enter just below it. Alright, so now creating the upper wick for session open. So the new potential entry point is 32.27.03. Now this candle can't pull back much further because then we just don't have the margin. So currently looking at a sell. .03. Stop loss will be above the entry candle. And we've really, at this rate, we've pretty much got that 1-to-1. If this pulls back much further, then I'm just not going to bother with it. It's not going to be worth it. The stop loss starts to widen too much. At the moment it's 26 pips, just over. That's okay. But if it starts to widen out to about 40, it's just not worth it. For Zal, still a buy. I'm looking at a sell right now. Opening, yeah, we'll look at it for you. Gold bull trading, hey man, all good mate, I hope you are. Alright, so it's popping up probably a fraction too high. It needs to really start to reject. Let's just quickly measure it. What would stop loss now be? Oh, let me put on my magnet tool. 31. All right, what sort of margin do we have? Yeah, this is pretty much where I'm drawing a line. Yeah, it's pulling back too far, guys. So all good. We spared a loss because he should never have entered, because once again, without that upper wick there's no entry, because look what it's doing just now. So you learn even if we're not in trade. So I'm gonna remove this order. It's pulling back way too far and we're just patiently gonna wait. Let's see, we could end up back near resistance and we still have options to buy it. So don't go anywhere, guys. We still could have another option here. Already one small win today on gold. Waiting for GJ to see how it reacts to 195.90. Let me quickly look at XAU EUR. Looks very similar to XAU USD at the minute, to be honest. So yeah, I just quickly look at it. 4 hours not quite tapping into support. It is at a previous level of resistance, but we did wipe through it to the upside. Let's quickly do some top down weekly, forming bearish, daily, approaching the low of the previous. It is definitely in an uptrend though. Sorry, start at the monthly. Daily lower highs, lower lows, and the candles, the probability. So it's marking a current candle low. Looks like there is a little bit of margin to the downside of 4 hour. Also looks like there's potential margin to the downside. As far as support, it's an M30 level. Below it, yeah, definitely look for sells below. Sells look good below the current day's low. The support formed at that level, and I'd be looking for the buys above the most recent resistance formed within the current daily candle as well. That is exactly how I'd be playing XAU EUR euro. I'd be looking for that. The more data prints right now within the current area, the more tricky it is to trade. To be honest, I'd probably avoid the current area and wait for it to either pop above or below for more probable options, in my opinion. Now, when and if I may consider getting involved still to the downside, so I can just remove that horizontal. If this closes weak bullish, and once again it'll come down to the upper wick on the falling candle, then if we begin to break the weak bullish candles low, there's a high probability that we could make the move back down. So it's going to be a tricky one, but we'll see.
Hey, good morning.
Franco, good morning to you, mate. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Yeah, thank you.
All good, brother. All good. Just watching gold do its thing. There is not the margin at the minute. Yeah, 40 odd pip, close to 47 pip stop once you count for spread, and you got about 27 pip, 28 pip margin. So not prepared to take that.
Yeah, huge upper wick.
Yeah, bit higher than what I wanted. So all good.
Yeah, I'm looking for some buys on GU above 211. 1.33, 211. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is, correct above this.
Yep.
And maybe also on sales, as you mentioned there.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of which way it decides to break at the minute. Which direction. Yeah, just have to wait and see. Alright, it's gold trying to make the move back down. So let's just remove that. Molly grubs, what tool? So just follow my cursor. It's the ruler tool over here. And I've got my magnet tool on, so it should accurately show on the tool itself. from the high to the low, wherever I end up connecting it to. All moving down now. Structure going on right now. Yeah, looking okay because we get bounced off the support, so we've got some good entry points if it does pop back up, and maybe even an entry point from support if it does provide a price action catalyst. Xauusd should drop. Could drop. It is under resistance. It's just consolidating. It's an ugly area. System error, alpaca. No idea what you're talking about. Mollygrub's all good. Once again, thank you to all the new subscribers. Or new followers, sorry. Visal, hello, how are you? Just joined your stream. Can I ask ideas for you, please? Thanks. Yeah, just had a look at EU. It's just consolidating, similar to what I mentioned with GU. Quickly look at it though. These gaps, terrible. Daily counter probabilities to the upside, I'd be marking current daily low. 4 hours bearish in structure. 30 minutes just consolidating, but it's technically bullish in structure. Let's just see what we've got above it. All right. Yeah, so EU, I'd be looking for buys above that resistance. Seeing it's in consolidation, you really need to wait patiently for it to make a move out of it. So buys above the resistance. Again, closures above. Like so. And below support, potentially, if you've got the margin, doesn't like, well, you may be able to squeeze. If you can get a, you know, once one risk reward, for instance, like a 6-7 pip stop, and having a 10 pip margin is, it's okay. Otherwise, just wait for it to start to pop below 111, 630, 640, and you've got much cleaner traffic below that point there. And what I would also say is still bullish in structure on the 30, so if it does pull back and respect this level of support, I'd be looking to buy it from above 111, 640 as well. Be nice if it did make a clear move down to that point now. So to be honest, I just avoid that below it, below the current support, and I focus on 111, 640 to be honest. Otherwise, buys above, sells below that point. All right, gold's come down.
I mean,
You're in?
no, what I mentioned to you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's better because it's more as a range that we are right now, and maybe it would be not enough if we go to the downside.
Yeah, it's not really great.
So I think it's a good
Great deal
correction that you made to get sales below this area which you marked there.
Yeah, much cleaner. And just look for the buys if it does pop down and respect that level.
It's kind of the same as GU, more or less.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
GU, these levels are... not sure what to do with it. Alright, GJ approaching the resistance, so haven't totally written off GJ. Right, so g'day to you, mate. Welcome. Yesterday, your prediction was precise. London sesh push price down. Nice one. YouTube guys, if you could hit that like button, we would really appreciate it. to my team. I will be on obviously later on for MY. At least today is no high impact news to worry about, so let's see if we get some cleaner opportunities. That's look, you're not touching gold today. Fair enough. Andrew? Okay, wow. Happy to hear it, my friend. Well done. It's look, you're holding gold natural gas shorts. Oil, sorry. Okay, fair enough. Alright, GJ, no lower wick. Yes, you got to pause here, but no, it's not valid because it's into a wick here to the left, so it's technically at a resistance. Let's look, you might short Bitcoin. Yeah, did a little. I had a look at it for a member earlier today. Can't quite remember why I dropped that in. I had some question, and I think that's why I came up with that level. Anyway. Yeah, I'd be looking for support around 103.10. 103.100. 30-minute structural flip bearish below that point, so I'd be looking for that confirmation, then start to consider sells. Dawn, that was Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't really see any clear or entry points at the minute on it. I'd rather it make the pullback to that 103 level. See if it does form support above it. Perez, you will sell or buy. At the minute, I'm just waiting. Took a quick small buy earlier through some quick small profits, and now I'm just chilling, just waiting. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Partook instead of music, you're on TV in my garage while I'm change window mechanism on. Oh, nice one. Appreciate it. Nice car too, mate. Dogen, do you ever use Ripster clouds for entry points? No idea what they are, to be honest, mate. Excuse my ignorance, but I really have no idea what they are. I don't use indicators at all, mate. I have one entry that I don't remember the last time I've used it, and that maybe, well, it does require use of an EMA, but I can't remember the last time I've even bothered to check it out. What I do is just price action, mate. Becky. Prediction of Trump coin? No idea, to be honest. Be careful with it. It's a meme coin. I don't know, actually, if it is a meme coin, there might be some utility to it. I have no idea. Stoof, what I think about equilibrium? No thoughts. Again, all I do, guys, is I trade price action. I can't comment on most of that stuff because I don't know what it is, to be honest. I don't know what form of trading it is or whatever. Whereas Paris looking for sells because gold is looking peaceful, so I think it will go down. Alright. Yeah, a little bit late to sells personally, my personal opinion just now. Dogen, fair. I like your simple and disciplined patient approach, very easy to. Yeah, I'm very strict with it. Really strict with the way I go about things. They're enjoying your screen is full of indicators. Fair enough. Look, I'm no one to tell you what to do or or say it's bullshit, don't use it. But to me it is. To me it's bullshit and I won't use it. But you may have an edge. You may have found an edge by using these indicators. The reason why I don't tend to use or like to use them is because they're lagging. So I'd rather let price action dictate what's happening to me on the charts. I'd rather let that provide my entry signal and not worry about price tapping into some lagging indicator or something telling me it's overbought or oversold. Again, I'm not saying there's no time or place for it in trading, but just for me there isn't. There's no advantage of me using indicators. Oh man, GJ. Why couldn't it be a 4-hour level? To all the new followers as well, just be careful, guys. If someone contacts you claiming to be me, it's not me. So don't be daft, don't be fooled. Once again, I will never initiate contact with anyone. If you want to know anything about what I do, or if you just want to say g'day, you send me a message and I happily reply to everyone. Because every single day, almost, I get a message from someone saying, I just got a message from someone who says they're you, and it's not me, guys. Don't ask for you to, well, I don't tell you I'm going to flip 10k into 100k in a week. I don't do any of that shit. So just don't be stupid. One way of telling, if you get a message from someone claiming to be me, if they have followers, it's not me, because I don't follow anyone. Not a single person. Because otherwise it all looks basically the same. The username, everything is so similar, it's ridiculous. DJ, wow. No lower week and look what it's done. Why was it up there? That would have been perfect. All right, let's see. Gold potentially closing back bullish, and we're kind of now just consolidating. So once again, it's going to come back down to 32, 35, that sort of region. Let's see if we manage to begin to pop above it. Ollie, this way I'm waiting for buys above 32, 36, 70. I want price to a minimum close above 32, 35.33 to be exact, with a strong volume bullish candle. And at the moment, sells maybe upon rejection of 32, 35 if I get the right confirmation, otherwise below 32, 16, or upon a pullback to 32, 50. Easy on the beat. Thank you for sharing live. Appreciate it. Thank you to new sub. Took demand zones coming, might even go long today. Yeah, see if we do pop back down. I want to see how price reacts to it, and if we again pop above the resistance, so I want to see how price reacts to that point for options. EU, absolute shithouse. AU, same. You are CAD, the same. EJ looking a bit better. EJ cells look pretty good actually. You've got a bearish engulfing. Within it, a liquidity candle, so it's broken the high of the previous. At a resistance, tapping into it, rejecting. And it's broken a low. And if it closed bearish engulfing, this would be a really nice price action signal. But if it closed like this as well, with a really weak minor pause in a 15, that's another really strong signal to sell it below on the following M30. 30-minute structure, how long is the 15? 30 is technically bullish. 15 is bearish. Yeah, EJ doesn't look bad. Against the weekly though. Yeah, I'd want it to close right near the low. EJ probably looks the best at the minute. Everything else is pretty much just consolidating. Manual, good setup. So, you buy from 25, I'm about to lose my challenge. What should I do right now? Hold on, what? You're gonna buy from 25? How are you about to lose your challenge if you're gonna buy from 25? Should be in profit right now. Now you need to have a plan for that, to be honest. You should not be over risking. Again, I go into every single trade thinking about how can I manage it. If it goes against me, I'm very quick to start to manage it, because last thing I want to do is take a full loss. So you need a plan for that, as you know how you're going to approach it, whether it be trailing stop above the entry candle or below the entry candle, depending which direction you're training. Obviously, flips back in the opposite direction, that might be another way to start to manage your position. But unfortunately, mate, you need to have a plan. If it's too late, it's too late. There's not much you can do about it. MagicKeys support at 3200. Yeah, that is another level that we could potentially see moving forward. Bounced off that level multiple times as well. Alright, so it's not going to be a buy confirmation on the next candle. We're closing below the resistance, but who knows? We'll see. I mean, this candle is about to close below it, the 30 and the 15. You're in profit right now. You're still down in your challenge. You just gotta stick to your game plan, man. You have a plan for each setup, follow some rules and stick to it. Have you know, are you consistent? Do you have the data to back up the way you go about things? Because otherwise, I'm not sure if you jumped into a challenge too soon. Maybe you weren't ready, I'm not sure. But all you gotta do is continue to do what you normally do that works for you, and you know, hopefully it turns for you. It's not, unfortunately, it's nothing I can do to just change it. Can't tell you buy gold right now and you're gonna get your account back into profit. There's unfortunately no magic button I can click or to help you out. Lemon, your plan usually consists of hope and prayer. At least it's a plan. Alright, still below resistance. Alright guys, I'm gonna quickly prepare something I need to do for dinner. I will be back in about 2 minutes, maybe even less than that. So just stick around, come back, we'll have another look at things and we'll see where we could potentially, or what we could look at out for moving forward. So I'll be back in just a few moments, guys. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty guys, I am back. Nothing much has changed on the chart. Still no clear entry at the minute. Chris, morning to you, mate. I hope you're well. Closed at 32. Okay. So you took some profit. So now what you need to really do is just reassess things and come up with another plan. Where do you want to look to get involved? What sort of confirmations you need to see, and just stick to that and wait patiently for it to present. Don't try to, you know, get the challenge back into a profit based on the need to do it, if you know what I mean. Like, might not sound, I'm not sure how the best way to say it, but I don't want your emotions to start coming into it, because then you're going to start to just do stupid shit and just you just close the trade, you're going to look to buy it again because you want to get back into, you know, out of drawdown your challenge. So once again, focus on a plan. If you got this level as a potential entry point, just wait for price to get to that point there. Ask yourself, what do you want to see at that level? Maybe a closure above, retest, and then you're going to be happy enough to buy it. So what I'm trying to say is just have the plan, stick to it, follow it, and then there's a good chance you might have another win, and then slowly the drawdown will, you know, be less and less, and you'll start to get it back towards break even again. So yeah, that's what I'd be doing. Don't hunt it. Just let the charts come to you. I always say it. Lemon's been really good. Last week was 3-1, but that was the last trade of the week. Was a cracker on gold. This week's been slow but good. 2 wins, 1 break even. GJ's win was a good one on Monday. This one today was a very small one. Yesterday was a quick break even trade as well on gold. I mean, prior to that, May's been a good month. Am I going 3% per position? It changes because I trade fixed lots, so, or obviously it depends on stop loss. It depends on, for the minute on gold, because the stop loss is generally wider, it's lower the lot size. Yeah, hi, UJ sell. I think sells best below 146.830. Let's focus on gold, guys. So in 7 minutes time, we could potentially have a catalyst. Leonard, are you by chance looking at the 1 hour fair value? I don't look at fair value gaps, my friend. For a took trade with no emotions, whether it's yeah, exactly. That's how you got to go about it. You got to be robotic. It's the best way to go about things. Know you're going to take losses. It's all part of it. Trust your analysis, trust your rules, and just trade your plan, and that's it. Yeah, nice sells. Does it actually tapped into that 4-hour level I spoke about? Looks like it may have. Yeah, it has, so that's better. That's what I need to do. Look at that. It's tap in, reject. And the best entry point still below 21,173.85. There goes gold. Let's see, let's wait. Now would consider a limit order, potentially. So we're forming a bit of structure here.
Seems to be some weakness on dollar because of the majors.
Starting to move. Okay, yep. GU potentially could give an option too.
Yes, correct.
Yep, EU, so starting to break. Confused, I think BTC will find buyers at 104.5. I'd be looking for, to be honest, I'd be looking for buyers from 103 from a bit lower down if it did pull back. I'd be concerned by sellers at that point. I'd be wanting price to pop above 105 pretty much to trust we're coming up to the next resistance. Right, because the sheer volume on gold of late can't be just a 10 pip closure above. I want it to be about 15 minimum, so roughly the current area for any potential limit order. Let's look at 30. So around there. Yeah, I think there's a good chance it could as well, to be honest, Bitcoin. But as long as it remains above that level, it's quite bullish. B, what's we've noticed? It's just rejecting a high time frame resistance, so I'll be looking for a clean move back down to the lowest point of a support, because it is a little bit choppy here to the left. I mean, you could almost look for options from the current level. It is at a support, just made a clean move down. But it's a healthy rejection of a 4-hour resistance, which I was waiting for price to tap into, see how it reacted to, and it has now rejected it. I still see that better sell options will be below 21,173.85. But let's focus on the gold. 2 and a bit minutes remaining, guys, so let's start to consider what we really want to see now. So obviously the limit order, once it closes above that point there, that would be a strong confirmation that if the new candle create a lower wick, a good potential level for it to tap into would be the resistance. Stop loss is, oh man, that's the toughest part again. Stop loss is huge. Even on the limit order, stop loss would be 74 pips. It's likely going to need a continuation by order. So what I mean by that, closure above, don't want to leave a massive upper wick, so I'd rather close close to its high, lower wick on the new candle. You can use that as a stop loss and look for an entry as it begins to break what will be the catalyst candle's high, but it needs to close above. The way it's rejecting just now doesn't give me any confidence whatsoever to buy it. So just wait patiently. Minute and a half left, let's see. D-man, gold to moon eventually. BVG, GU. Rejecting as well at the minute. Zach Bear, do you think it closes above? It could test. Yeah, I think there's a good chance it could. But it needs to close above. Minute left. Let's see. It could still do it. Brutal. You were only short 32.40. 45. Fair enough. You're talking about some previous levels here. I'm not sure if it's a fair value gap or 15. It seems to be one just here. But again, it's not me and not the way I look at things to trade. It's just pure, plain and simple price action. All right, 20 seconds, guys. Has to pop up. Africa voices. Because the wicks, what you find is a lot of time at a resistance, the wick of a bearish candle, price tends to reject it and ends up closing back below the zone itself. So I'd rather price clear the wick before looking for entries, and we haven't done so just yet. So anywhere within the wick at the resistance, the zone, we could potentially reject. The amount of times we do reject, I mean, it happens quite regularly, and it's just the way I go about things. It works for me, as opposed to just having, you know, a horizontal. Like so, just a line. Again, it's just the way I go about things. Not saying what I do is the perfect way or anything. There is no such thing. It's just whatever works for you guys. That's all there is. And for me, this is what works. So once again, could be down to the alley. But of course, after test 3250. Okay, yep. Umer blessed. What is your time frame? Well, look, starts from usually around well, from the 15. I do look at the 5 occasionally, but now the confirmation I was waiting for in the 15 is invalid, so I can look for the exact same confirmation now in the 30 closure above, and even the hourly. If the hourly closes bullish engulfing, that's another really strong catalyst. So I can go up in time frame, I can go down. Generally speaking, I don't go long than the 15. On is it gold on the go chart? This is gold, yeah, in a minute. Okay, no problem. Lemon, yeah, makes sense, thank you. Beyond all good. So I'm currently on a 30-minute, but again, if there's to be an entry, it'd be off the back of the hourly more so than anything else. The hourly bullish engulfing, similar to what we had here. Assuming you mean 30-minute. So I'll stick around to see how this candle closes.
Maybe there are also some potential GJ buys later on.
Oh yeah, GJ popping back up. Yeah, I definitely prefer to trade gold though. P43M/Z. Can you explain what you mean by the alley? Ali? Oh, I'm thinking it's probably my accent. The hourly, 1 hour. That's probably what I was talking about when you probably thought I was saying Ali. Yeah, it's the Aussie accent. We don't open our mouths apparently when we speak. That's what I've been told. I got a pretty soft Aussie accent, to be honest.
I'm glad for that.
So if this was my brother doing it, you guys would be like, what the hell is this guy on about?
I remember, as I mentioned already, the one colleague when I was working at
Yeah.
the General Motors, so there was someone from Australia. They didn't catch
Anything.
It's okay.
Yeah, mate, how's it going? What's cracking? I mean, I could go deep into slang, and only the Aussies will get it. Used it to my advantage at times overseas with my brother. No one had any idea what we're talking about. Yeah, mate. Waiting for engulfing, mate. On the alley. On the alley. Engulfing.
So you will not look on the M30 on GJ?
Uh,
No, you.
seems like it's rejecting. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It definitely needs to close above though.
Yeah, okay, no, I mean, it's the same as the audio at the end. Yeah.
Pretty much, to be honest. Yeah, it needs a really strong closure at this rate, and it keeps rejecting as it gets closer. I mean, it did reject the resistance just below the level I've marked in, because that is also a level. Could really just use that whole area. You got bullish minus support, bearish, that's resistance again. And that previous candle rejected that level. This candle's popped up higher and rejected the level higher up.
Would you say that we are bearish on the M30 time frame on GJ?
On this particular chart, I would say it's technically bullish.
Bullish, okay.
Yeah, because I'm not considering this a swing. So I'm considering that to be the highest point, the highest closure. We've not closed above it over here. We've broken above it, but not closed above it. So therefore the swing in the opposite direction is this 2 candle pullback. And we didn't close below it. Again, we below it, but we failed to close below. But yes, within it, it's creating lower high. Well, it's created a lower low from the resistance, potentially a lower high. Seven minutes. Let's see on gold. Want this to close very strong. Want to close above. I really want to close above. Because if it closes above the 50% here, with the fact that we've wicked above it already and rejected, it's going to leave a long upper wick. And therefore, we're going to have to travel fair distance just to be involved in a trade. More than 30, close to 40 pips. So that's really no longer relevant. We really want to close above. We want the hourly to close engulfing. And that is the catalyst. So 6.5 minutes, you could definitely do it. Let's wait and see. ByBjpy, do you sell hourly liquidity sweep? It's a tough area because that resistance, for me, for it to be a liquidity sweep, this candle would actually have to be forming the opposite direction. Bearish, breaking the high of the previous, closing back below it. That I would consider a liquidity sweep in the minute. Yes, it may be sweeping it, but it may just be grabbing liquidity in order to push up as well, because there's no confirmation to sell it. That's the 4 hour, by the way. Looking at the hourly now. So that's your next potential area for price to pop up to and potentially reject. For me, I don't see any sells on GU until really below 132.887. Maybe from higher up, but not in a minute. Let's see, just over 5 minutes remaining, and we're right at that resistance now, at the high of it. Raja Kayani, possible resistance at 32.65, 32.70. Yeah, possibly, but I'm not concerned by it. We're far off it. I'm just focused on the most recent area and how I can potentially get involved. Thank you for the stickers, by the way, guys. I didn't even realize it. Apologies. I'm not sure if you guys are still on the stream. D-Man, appreciate it. Searing. Thank you. Alright, so what is the high? High is 32.3867. So first things first, we want it to close above the resistance. That's what I'm waiting on. Sandro 19, what long? Yeah, I'm potentially looking at a buy on gold here. I'm waiting for the hourly candle to close, the 30 to close. Want it to close above the resistance. Want the hourly to close engulfing. 15 to close above the resistance as well. And that could be enough for me to suggest ready to continue up to 32.50 potentially. So that's the plan for this potential entry at the minute. That's what I need to see. That's the rules. It's plain and simple to follow. If it ticks the box, I will stick around and look for a potential entry, see if it does present. And if not, it is what it is. So it's not my trade. User, yes, this is gold, XAUUSD. So far so good. Looking like we could manage to find a valid entry. Just now patiently need to wait 2 more minutes. But so far it's looking like we could get the option here. Now, I would prefer the continuation option. Unless this thing begins to rip in the next minute and 45 seconds, then I may consider a limit order. So I will try to be as quick as I can to let you know what I'm thinking. But again, it's all about the closure of this candle. Still needs to close above with 1.5 minutes. But for the time being, just keep a track of what the highest point of this potential catalyst candle is, and we're likely going to be looking for a potential entry above that candle's high. The new candle needs lower wick. It's the new hourly candle. We need that lower wick, and that would also have to be a stop loss. 15. Yeah, not too bad at the minute. It's about 45 pips by the looks of it. All right. $32.39.06 could be a potential entry point, as long as it doesn't create a higher high just now. Now, I may consider an earlier entry too. If the new count pops straight down without an upper wick, I may consider slightly earlier entry as it begins to flip. I'll let you guys know. Do my best to let you guys know. But that's what I'm currently looking at. Looking for potentially a buy above this count high. We want the lower wick to form on the new hourly /30/15. All right, let it pull back a little bit further because we need to use it as the stop loss. Got a 5 minute. All right, hold on. We've got the 5 closure above. We've got the tap in, retest. It's valid, guys. It's a valid entry. '06. Stop loss at this stage is below the 15. So my guys will know what I mean by what's happened on the 5 minute within our 30-minute catalyst candle. So that's what I'm currently looking at. Not in just yet. And this is fine too. I like the fact that it's pulling back to create more of a lower wick. Not a problem at all. Not concerned because I'm not in the trade at the minute. Yeah, this is looking really good. Hoye trades. I don't necessarily need it. Look at, yes, probably a better option, but I've already got it. I've already had it within our catalyst candle here. So it doesn't necessarily need to tap back into that level. Peter, Coinbase, I think it will. Just based off the strength of Bitcoin. But I'm not going to look at it. Alright, so I'm in. Did I get slipped? No, which is good. And definitely a way to manage this. If it flips and breaks down low, I will probably cut the whole lot, to be honest, and be a small loss. So I'm just going to restart to manage my stop loss just below the entry candle, and it's pulling back. So I'm going to pull it, drag it up to just below the open of that 15, of the previous 15, just in case we actually do pull back to retest that zone again. Alright, so I'm just getting ready to add to the journal later on.
Looking good, man.
Yeah, I mean, so far. Stop loss.
Yeah, we have on the dollar we have weakness there. So
Drag it up just a little bit. Yeah, my concern is that it might still pull back to tap in, but it's looking okay. So we're pretty much at entry. User, yes, this is Xauusd. Sandro, yes, this is long. So we've got 3 pips profit. Let's see. There we go. Ooh, popped up to 8 and popped up to 9. Usually I'd be at break even. But I've still got this thing open for the time being. Fair bit of volume about. Alright, I'm at break even. I'm gonna secure half at 10 again and leave a small runner, and that's another quick win. There we go.
Yeah. Yes, man.
So it's looking pretty good, guys. Yeah, it's the way I go about it. I had a plan for in drawdown if it did pull back further.
I secure already at 13 pips.
Nice move, mate. Well done. Yeah, my runners. Oh, I'm still just in. Thought it was about to be taken out. So 2 small wins so far. Let's see if this thing is going to continue before maybe taking the runner out.
It could be if you look maybe on the XY, you see how much it's melting.
Okay. Yep. Well, my runner's been taken out. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, is what it is. Small, quick win again to end the stream. So 2 small wins for today.
Very good,
And
man.
no one goes broke taking profits, so there you go. Rejecting just now, so you got to be quick. Again, the way gold is at the moment, mention it all along, don't be greedy. Unless you're a swing trader, unless you're an intraday trader, if you're a scalper, take your profits when you have profits on the table. Look to have ways to manage the trade, because gold is spikes all over the shop. At times it looks like, you know, some really nice opportunities, and then if you were to actually see the candles print, you realize otherwise that it goes up, goes down. There's so much volume about it, so just be quick. Yeah, that's my personal opinion of it. So that's 2 small wins, which ends up being not a bad day in the end. Frankie, your mic's cutting out if you're trying to speak. I can hear you now. Oh. All right. David, all good, mate. Well done. I'm happy for you. I took a small win. If you're happy if you take a win as well in the opposite direction. So that's the beauty about it. We can have different opinions and we can both still win. At the moment, it looks like it wants to continue up. And if you have not secured anything, you've got 20 pips on the table just now. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, took my runner out, but I'm happy with what I got from it. And looking good. So well done anyone who did take the trade. And ends a good day. Did a hedge with my call. It took, nice one. Beyond, all good. Longs on GJ. Let's quickly look at GJ. No, I'm not sure why I'd be looking for buys on GJ at the minute. Look at that, wow. So it's definitely not the pound, it's something with the yen. Oof. So DXY must be absolutely dying at the minute. Some news, something must have been released. Let's quickly look at Forex Juice. Financial Juice, sorry. Same shit.
Yeah, extremely dollar weakness also on UJ.
Yeah, nothing breaking here. So, wow, DXY is shitting the bed, completely shitting the bed. Very interesting. Look at that, guys. And there's no FOMO. Again, for me, I went about it my way, took some profit, and look at it now. So if you're following along, there were opportunities today to take advantage of it, so well done. To Sering, yes, 3250 would be a really good target, 51, that sort of region. Dean pulled it at 18, nice one, good work. So well done, team. Good work, guys, well done. Lau, Marvy, nice work. Sorry, mate?
GJ is breaking through
The support, okay. The good thing is I don't mind this even if you're not in it, because what it does is cut open the range. It cuts through all the crap, and now all we're to do is hopefully this candle continues and closes strong bearish, and then you could have some potential options. Always happens to me. If it closed, man, you'd think I'd be a pro Zoom by now, but I'm still stuck at it after about 3 years of using it. If it closed strong bearish, then it's starting to cut through some of that shit to the left from yesterday. Then you could look for pullbacks to retest this zone, or even just create that lower high, even back above it. I would look for options to sell it. Last thing you want to do for it to do just now is pull the way back up, leave a massive long wick. It makes it very, very tricky to trade. But yeah, gold coming back.
Oh.
Crazy volatility at the moment, guys.
Yeah. Therefore, I think therefore it's good, Justin, as you clearly point out your strategy and taking partial security and set BE and so on, because you never know that. So
try to exactly
the more secure thing.
Try to mitigate the risk as well very quickly, because the way price has been moving. And just accept it, win, lose or draw.
Yeah, most shitty what can happen is that you are in profit and then
don't take anything
and taking nothing, and then something happen and then you are in a loss. So
correct.
So it's good to protect it as you are doing this. Very good.
I agree. So well done to you as well today.
Yeah.
Soaring, resisting high. Yeah, but again, don't be greedy, mate. You had plenty of profit on the table, to be honest. It moved into a significant amount of pips, and now it's back below the entry. So African Voices, nice one. Well done to those of you on YouTube as well. Stick around to the end. Melody family, nice buy set up on gold. Wanted price to close above that 1 hour fair value gap. We call it fair value gap now to take it to yesterday's high. You call it I. What's IFVG stand for? Inversion for failure. Oh, okay, it's a new term for me. I have no idea what it means, but all good. Alrighty, guys. Well, yeah, that's about it. Just quickly, guys. Once again, VIP is $1 a day. Most people, what I find amusing is people procrastinate on their education. Not saying what I do is necessarily the best thing for each person. For some people it will be, for some it won't. But people are happy to pay for a streaming service. But you know, when it comes to education, they procrastinate. It's pretty much the same price. You get access to the course, you get access to the group, you get access to the MY calls, sim session, accountability session, education session, everything. There's heaps there. So if you are interested, feel free to send me a message. You can find all the details on my profile. YouTube, it's all down in the description. Always feel free to send me a message. I'm more than happy to have a chat with anyone. I do appreciate that. Even you guys, I appreciate you guys watching the stream. I appreciate the comments, you know, when you guys send me a message, a nice message particularly. And I'm always happy to reply and have a chat. So feel free to say good day at any point. To my team, I will be on once again for NY in a couple hours from now, about 2.5 to 3 hours from now. We'll jump on, have a look at the charts. And yeah, tomorrow I'll be on from the same time as today, YouTube and TikTok. Look forward to that. And take care.
Yeah,
Franco and Andrew. Thank you, and I'll catch you guys later on.
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers, guys. YouTube, appreciate you. TikTok, thank you once again. You guys, you all rock. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Cheers, team. Bye.